flavored cigarettes. And they banned them for a reason. They banned them because they were a very potent tool for getting young people addicted to tobacco. But here we stand now 7 years later, and we have e-cigarettes. And out there are over 7,700 different e-cigarette flavors. The goal of big tobacco has not changed. They control nearly half of the market in Vermont. The plan is still to get the youth addicted. H879 can be found in your bill package from, I believe, the 25th of the month. And first I want to say that this is a revenue-neutral bill. It does not raise any additional money beyond what we raised in the miscellaneous tax bill. I come at this from a different perspective from many people, and to me this is not about the revenue. This is really about protecting the teenagers of Vermont from predatory companies and dangerous products, protecting them from making decisions that they will regret for the rest of their life. Madam Speaker, in 2009, the e-cigarette industry themselves petitioned the FDA, and they petitioned the FDA to be regulated as tobacco products, not as medical device manufacturers. Well, H79 does exactly that. Maybe this goes in the category of be careful what you ask for. This bill is about placing an excise tax on e-cigarettes, vaping devices, and oils, commensurate with the level of taxation of other tobacco products. That's 92% of the wholesale value. The expected revenue is on the order of $500,000, just a little less, and that revenue is offset by a reduction in the employer assessment that we voted on in the miscellaneous tax bill. Specifically, the quarterly assessment for businesses having 20 to 99 uncovered FTEs would be $200 instead of the $210 we previously passed. For businesses having more than 100 FTEs without insurance coverage, the assessment would get down to $244 per quarter instead of the $249 we voted on previously. Madam Speaker, we know that teenagers are the most price-sensitive consumers. We also know that economic modeling for reduction of utilization by young people is similar to that for tobacco products, and that this tax would likely reduce teenage utilization significantly. Make no mistake, e-cigarettes and vaping are primarily tools to addict young people. Look at the advertising increase of 256% between 2011 and 2014. Look at the flavors. Now, while some people unquestionably use these devices to successfully stop smoking, the number who successfully quit smoking with these is a very small number compared with the number of youth who are getting addicted. The Vermont numbers are kind of frightening. Between 2011 and 2014, teenage utilization of these products increased ninefold. That's a 900% increase in teenagers using e-cigarettes and similar products. Vermont Department of Health reports that in the 2015 Youth Risk Behavioral Survey, 30% of Vermont high schoolers have tried these. 15% have used them within the last month. For the first time ever, it turns out that e-cigarettes were more commonly used by high school students than regular tobacco products. Who hasn't seen vaping lounges popping up in their areas? Can anybody really tell me with a straight face vaping lounges have something to do with smoking cessation? So, a word about e-cigarettes as smoking cessation devices. You all know they're not FDA approved for that purpose. In the few head-to-head comparisons in peer-reviewed medical literature, they're no more effective than the 7 FDA-approved stop smoking aids out there, including the over-the-counter nicotine replacement products. Came across an interesting study from the summer of 2015, American Journal of Public Health this summer, showed that smokers who used e-cigarettes were 59% less likely to stop smoking than those who have never used e-cigarettes. Caught me by surprise. But then, in January, a study was published in Lancet. That's like the New England Journal of Medicine from England, very highly respected peer-reviewed journal. And this was the biggest study to date of the effectiveness of stop smoking, these as stop smoking aids. This was a kind of study called a meta-analysis. They looked at 38 studies in the literature. They analyzed the methodology, they pooled the data, and what they found was quite similar. They saw a 28% less likely chance that people would stop smoking if they ever used e-cigarettes. So instead of helping people smoking, people using these are less likely, statistically, to stop smoking. The manufacturers want us to believe these are safe products. Remember, big tobacco controls a big chunk of this market. There were the same people who told us for decades that there was no adverse health effect from cigarettes. A recent study this year from the New England Journal of Medicine really moves the needle in this conversation. You know, I think most physicians would have said, we don't know, but they're probably safer compared to cigarettes. After this study, we have a very different outlook. This study makes us say things like, you're inhaling carcinogenic compounds which significantly increase your risk of cancers. Mr. Speaker, they were talking about formaldehyde. The International Agency for Research on Cancer calls formaldehyde one of a total of 114 chemicals out there as a class 1 carcinogen. And formaldehyde is a breakdown product of the main ingredient of vaping oils, be that propylene glycol, or another. It is, when heated, when vaporized, these things produce formaldehyde. So what this group did was try to figure out how much formaldehyde is in, not in the oil, but how much formaldehyde is in the vapor. And what they did was compare how much formaldehyde somebody gets vaping on the amount of about 1 pack a day of normal cigarettes, compared to vaping 3 mLs of vaping oil. And they say that that's the average that people use, 3 mLs. I don't know, but that's what they say. And the long and short of it is that there was about 5 times as much formaldehyde by the average amount, 3 mLs a day, by vaping that, 5 times the amount of formaldehyde as a smoker would get from a pack a day. They estimated the risk of cancer to be 5-fold increased for the average user of vaping products compared with a person smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. That's rather astounding. So, Madam Speaker, I hope the members won't be fooled by the tobacco playbook denying for decades the risks of these products, producing industry-funded studies purporting to show safety. I read through multiple sources of peer-reviewed medical literature this week. None of them find that these products have been proven to be safe. None of them find these products superior to what's FDA approved for smoking cessation. Madam Speaker, I hope the body will support this bill. The committee vote was 8-3-0, and the witnesses we heard from were a representative from Vermont Vapor, the president of the American Vaping Association, a representative from the Beverage Den and Smoke Shop in Bennington, the president of Vermont Retail and Grocers Association, a representative from 802 e-cigarette supply, Director of Health and Promotion and Public Policy for the American Lung Association, Senior Analyst from Joint Fiscal Office, a representative from Dorset, some guy who represents Jericho, a store manager from Cumberland Farms in Colchester, and several citizens who have used these devices to stop smoking. Thank you very much.
Question is, shall H879 be read a third time? Are you ready for that question? Member from Fairhaven.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Have any of you ever known somebody that tried to get off cigarettes repeatedly, time after time, with no success? I had a real estate office for about 10 years in a building in Castleton. In that building was an e-cigarette place. I had no idea what an e-cigarette was. I had absolutely, it was the first I'd ever heard of it. This had to be 12 or 15 years ago. And I watched people go in, I watched people come out. Boy, I've got to go in there and find out what this is all about. So I did one day. And they were nice enough, they showed me all their stuff, they explained to me what the whole purpose was, and it made some sense. I couldn't imagine it. So I watched, and I watched some people actually smoke the stuff, or not smoke it, excuse me, vapor it. And it was also explained to me, yes, you're hitting nicotine.